welcome to another video. In today's video, my entire criminal record. Alright, let's just start from the beginning. 14 years old. Giant nothing burger. Menacing. Basically, you could look at it this way. By the time I was 14, life had been not great with education, sleep, diet, and this just culminated. And I was seriously sick and tired of being messed with. I mean, for no reason, right? I mean, and the biggest thing I remember from this whole situation was the cop was so freaking or one of the cops rather, was so just out of, I just almost wrecked my car, this whole thing. And it was like, the whole scene was not long, but done 5 or so minutes, on my way to school. So, and I think this actually was my mom poking at me, trying to get me to enact the same thing when my dad's girlfriend was messing with me on my grandfather's birthday. I was trying to get my homework done. I told a whole video about this, okay? Long story short, I was, she was just, so it devolved into a whole scene that my mother showed up in the middle of, and then took the side of my dad's girlfriend and just left me there. So now I'm living with and I, my diet with what they were feeding me. I mean, it was like I was getting fat. So definitely the giant nothing burger. Okay? It was like an argument. So let's go to 16 years old. All right? And mind you, I didn't find out the full scope of this completely bullshit story until I was 27 years old. Okay? So at 16, I had which girlfriend, fuck buddy would probably be a better term, right? But she was like my first ever fuck buddy, right? And it was this chick I worked with. She was 19, I was 16. We had hung out on this rafting trip, and I was driving. And then she came down and hung out on this friend of mine's speedboat, right? Ski boat, rather. And then we banged that evening. And then back at work, a few days later, she, because I got drunk, she got drunk, and I got really drunk. I barely remember anything from that first time, right? And so I just honestly didn't remember. She's like, how long are you going to pretend? I'm like, man, I don't really remember anything. She's like, well, we'll do it again, basically was her thing, right? So she was coming over to my house, where on a houseboat. I think my mom's second husband had already left, I think. So she's coming down there right into my bedroom. And she has me tying her up and spanking her per her request from the first time or the second time we ever banged, right? So we banged 5 or 6 times, I think, over 2 or 3 months-ish, okay? Now, we're hanging out at the same buddy's place that has the boat. I go into the bathroom to take a shit. Come back out, they're banging in the living room. I'm like, whoa. So I make myself a drink and start drinking. She says, hey, come on over. Okay. Everything's fine for the next, all night long, literally. And I had to go to school. So I left like left them there, went to school. My mom dropped me off at school. I turned around, got right on a TriMet bus, and came right back. And she was gone. And I tried getting a hold of her. And I got fired from work. And I'm sitting down at my buddy's house one day, and these detectives show up. And there's two of them, and they separate us. And one asks, like one cop's with Doug and one cop's with me. When this is all done, the cops say, this is a direct quote, sounds like a good time went to shit. Don't ever talk to her again. What the? At that moment, I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the, Well, turns out, let's paint the picture of Polly, the girl. She lived at home with her mother and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was like early 20s. She was 19. He was heavily big, huge, all everywhere. Nice guy. I'd met him a few times before. And then the mother. The mother was like, my impressions of her, because I had met her a few times, because we had worked together for like over a year at this video rental place, right? It was like she was a mean lady, right? So basically, the 19-year-old girl goes home, and to get out of just being honest, she makes up this lie, which again, I didn't find out until I was 27 years old. What she actually said, forced rape with a handgun. What? Are you effing kidding me? What? Like, holy, so I was 16 all the way to 27, right? Does that get erased out of the record? No. I'm in jail for weed, basically, at 27, and the one of the jail lady people, so tell me about the forced rape with the handgun. I'm just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never been questioned about that in my life. Can you give me some more information? How old, Well, yeah. So, just absolutely insane that a 16-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 30-year-old, okay? And the 30-year-old, I shouldn't even been on that houseboat mortgage as a kid. There was literally rules against children being on that houseboat mortgage, but because my mother's second husband was such a selfish asshole, he just was like to the whole houseboat community, and he moved in my little brother, and then I moved in, and then an entire other family of kids moved in, and all these people that wanted to be kid-free because this selfish individual forced kids into their situation. And it's not only them, but there was people that children shouldn't have been hanging around down there with. Like, this dude got me drunk at 13 years old and sent me onto an island to go hunt down these girls that turned out to be girls that I went to junior high school with. I mean, yeah. So, and drinking at his place was like, he would just play stupid, and I would make my own drinks. She would make her own drinks, and yeah. So, yeah, what do you do, right? Just having a good time. All right, now, when I was 18, me and my buddy Scott, on our way to Seaside, Oregon for spring break. We had rented a room at the Shiloh, and which is right here. I'll zoom in and do some stuff on that here in a sec. And we had to take a bus, and it was a very slow bus that went way out of the way to get there. Okay, so we got there, and we checked into our room, and our room was connected via a non-accessible balcony. So if you stepped over the railing of your room, you could walk all the way on this roof of, I think the restaurant was underneath, and go up to the edge, and the cruising was happening all right here. Cruising was big, right? And you could literally just stand on the roof and look down. I saw people doing this, right? So that's where our room was. Now, there was no pagers or cell phones at this point. Or no, I think I actually did have a pager, to be honest. Yeah, I had a pager. But then for Scott, he did not have a pager. Then he would have to go find a payphone, page me, and then wait at the payphone for me to then go find a payphone and then call him back, right? So basically, we got separated somehow. I mean, it was packed. There was just people everywhere. And I think we had some booze on the bus, and we were drinking on the way there, right? So we get separated. We check in the room, probably drink some more. Then we go. We're out on the freaking cruising area, hanging out, walking around, get separated. Then I don't know how much time transpires, but I'm walking back into the main entrance for the hotel. And Scott is sitting on like the couch in the lobby with all our stuff packed up. And I'm just like, what the fuck did you do, man? What? And he's like, man, there was just blah, 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 blah. But before he has really a chance to tell me what's going on, the security guard comes up, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you kicking ass for? And he just immediately tries to put his fucking hands on me, right? And all I do is just don't let him put his fucking hands on me, right? It's like this dude is coming at me like I've done something. I have a room there. I don't know anything of what's going on at that moment, okay? So I do this, right? And I'm like, fuck. So I just turn. The door wasn't far away. I turn, I go down the door, and I believe there's like some steps maybe I went down. Maybe not. I might have just gone out. But I'm like going out. Now, no cops have been called. Nobody's yelling, nothing. I am running out of the front of the building. That's it. 2 cops see me and do this number. Bam. 1 cop gives the other cop like a black eye or bloody nose or fat lip or something in the process. I don't even know they're there. Nobody else stopped. Nobody else nothing. I'm just coming out of this building because I just had a fucking security guard try to fucking grab me for I don't know what reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have done nothing. Okay, now what had happened? There was a fucking party in our room. People had gone on the balcony, gone up. Apparently, we left our sliding door open maybe or whatever. And they were in our room, like, stealing our stuff. Scott walks in on them. I find this out, like, days later, okay? And so then the security just kicks us out. Like, and that's because Scott's there and this big party's in the room. I don't know why Scott wasn't able to communicate to them. These people are in our room lawfully, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, why he was, but that's what happened. And I don't know any of this. I just see my stuff packed up and Scott sitting in there waiting. And then a security guard come at me, right? So I just fucking run. 2 cops see me. 1 cop blackens the other cop's face, okay? And they start lying, okay? They say I attempt, or I know they say I did. Like, they said that I was how whatever damage was done to the other cop was done for me, okay? Which I didn't even know they're there. I'm just running out of the front of this place and all of a sudden they're fucking tackling me, okay? Not like stop police, nothing. So now I'm being fucking charged with assaulting a fucking cop. So I go from spring break, having a good time, people breaking into my fucking room, getting me kicked out of my room, unbeknownst to me. Now all of a sudden I'm wanted in jail for assaulting a cop that I didn't fucking assault. Never have I assaulted a cop. Ever have I ever tried to assault a cop ever in my entire fucking life. But because of some piece of shit ass cop in Seaside, Oregon, lying, that shit's on my fucking record. Because cops are fucking liars. Period. How the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So we break, you know what I'm saying? It's just horseshit. So I literally give my first ever $1,000 in life to a fucking lawyer that is also the part-time federal court judge there in fucking Seaside. And this is how I have the shittiest opinion of the criminal justice system in the United States from 18 years old. Because I sat there and gave this dude $1,000, told him the truth. He didn't give a fuck. The court bullshit proceedings was like he went into a room with another fucking judge or whatever. I mean, it was just the fucking zero justice, zero reality, fucking fascist pigs. Period. Right? Like you lying sacks of fucking shit. And see what happens is my fucking criminal record, which at that point, that was all pre-computer. But at this point, when any fucking cop can just pull up anything, they can just write whatever the fuck they want. Don't look what this cop said. Look what this cop said. Look what this cop said. I can literally say whatever the fuck I want about this guy and it's all lies. Look what this person said back here. She was lying. Look what this person, cops are saying right, they were lying. Okay? Let's move on. So, now, 21, I think, and just driving down the road at like 2 o'clock in the morning with my buddy after a bar. These guys pull up next to us. They're like, hey, man, you guys got any weed? I'm like, I don't. Hey, you got any weed? It's like, yeah, we got a little bag. Oh, yeah, we got a little bag. Well, hey, pull over. The guy fucking goes and fucking grabs the bag of weed out of my buddy's hand and says, what are you going to do if I take it from you? So my buddy whips out a knife and says, wrong answer, motherfucker. Hands me that knife, whips out another knife, and we proceed to chase this motherfucker for like, his buddy in the car just leaves him. He runs like 15 feet or something like that, drops the bag of weed. I pick the bag of weed, put it up, and start going back. Way out the fucking way. I can see a cop coming way up the street. So throw the fucking knife, right? The fucking cop comes. He doesn't know anything. He just happens to be driving. But the fucking guy that left his buddy drives all the way back around now, comes up behind the fucking cop. And you know, oh, they got knives or some shit like that, right? So me and my buddy are standing there perfectly just like this. The cop's saying, don't move, don't move, don't move, okay? And the fucking cop, James West, go fuck you, beat your motherfucking punk ass if you fucking were any sort of fucking normal man. Let's get in the ring, bitch. Okay? So, this motherfucker, we're being fucking robbed by some fucking punk. And he comes up there and fucking says, don't move, don't move, don't move. And starts beating the fucking shit out of me and my friend with the fucking nightclub. My ribs misshapen to this fucking day. You can see that? Okay? Right? You see this this fucking scar above my eye? See that scar? Okay? See that? That's from, don't move. Now I'm down on the ground and stomps on my head. Stomps on, does the exact same thing to my friend. Stomps on both of our heads, puts me in the fucking hospital. I was being fucking robbed. And of course, this fucking piece of shit, cop, James West, you fucking piece of shit. This motherfucker, oh, of course, he's, oh yeah, they tried to assault me. Lying sack of shit. Lying sack of shit. Piece of shit cops. Liars. That's the fucking problem. Not the problem, the cops, the problem. Okay? Have I ever attacked anybody in my entire life? No. Not once. Not once. Not anyone in my entire life. Have I been in fights? Yes. Have I just attacked innocent people in my life? Never. Never. Have I been attacked by fucking cops over and yeah. And lied about. And fucking scarred for life. Misshapen fucking ribs. Okay? Who's the criminal? Not me, bro. Not even fucking close. Let's proceed. Now I'm driving down the fucking road and I'm speeding. I step on my brakes. I just had my brakes done by a dude in his backyard. He didn't adjust the brakes right. I hit the brakes, the truck goes like this, goes up over a curb, hits a sign, right? Like, holy shit. Before then, I had not been speeding, okay? Cop sees it all, pulls me over, takes me in, blow the breathalyzer, okay. Not drunk, like 1 bar below. Oh, something, you gotta blow again. Now the shit's double. That seemed weird as fuck. And not until probably a decade later did the truth come out that the police had a way of basically you had to zero out the machine. If you didn't zero out the machine, it would just compound. Okay? So, another lying sack of shit cop. It's like I'm a fucking shit magnet for cops and shitty people as well. Okay? Let's move on. Okay, so I don't think after that, then I have the bank fraud. Okay, so huge story, and I've told this story before, and let's just boil it down to, number one, there wasn't any intent for any fraud, okay? I was doing loans for people so they could have money to start businesses, to buy weed, to start grow houses, to buy houses, all these things that these people didn't have enough money to do or the credit to get it done. I was selling them loans because I had people in the bank, okay? And I was making sure everybody was making my payments, their payments, right? The whole loss for like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of loans was $15,000, and that was the total of the loan that I had. I had a fictitious loan in a name that I was trying to build credit in, okay? But I only had like $4,000 or $5,000 out when the shit went down. I was keeping a balance and running it as to build credit, okay? Well, this one jealous asshole stole my fraudulent checks and then gave them to this other asshole. And then he went and wrote a bad check on my bad account, and that just started the ball rolling. Gabe Sonata, you piece of shit. And then he turns into a snitch. So there's a lot of his friends that were doing this, so all his friends get busted because of him, because he stole the checks and turned the checks over to Mike. And Mike went and want the bad check, and that's what started the whole thing, okay? Well, when the bank called me and just said, you need to bring all this money back right now, I freaked out. Well, $10,000, but the credit line was for $15,000. So the bank conveniently just lied and stuck it up to $15,000. When had they just had the check never been passed, the accounts there never would have been any fraud, because there never would have been any loss, because everybody was paying their bills, because they just wanted to use the money for stuff that the type of people that I was getting these loans for really didn't have the ability to have the money like that. So, and a lot of it was weed related. Okay, well, this is what happens when the government writes racist laws with racist intent. You end up with whole subsections of people trying to fight the government to make things right. And in the process, other shit kind of just gets wrapped up in it, I mean, there was never any fraud intended. It was just to be able to access the money, all right? I was literally on pretrial release for that when I was doing all my huge marijuana smuggling, okay? And I was massive. Millions and millions and millions of dollars all the time for a long time. And the way I got busted was pretty random. An anonymous tip to my roommates, probation officers, telling them that he didn't live where he was saying he lived, okay? Now, I was there, but I hadn't been there. I was literally had 7 days or something, or 8 days left on my lease. I was in the process of getting out of there. I wouldn't even been there in a week. His buddy just let the probation officers just, come on in. So that's how I got busted on that. All right. And the most notable thing from that whole situation is how much money the cops actually just stole. The cops stole over $300,000. I'm not talking about forfeited. I'm talking about stole. I'm talking about filled their little cargo pockets up and freaking walked outside and came back in with empty cargo pockets. And then the cargo pockets filled back up, and then they went back outside, and the cargo pockets came back in and were empty again. And I watched this for all these cops to the tune of $300,000. Now, there was still a couple $100,000 they left there for forfeiture, okay? Because the suitcase had almost $600,000 in it, all right? So, yeah. And this is the lies that created this cannabis is not a medicine, and the cops just get to steal everything. This is more racist, 1933. The reason why most people call cannabis marijuana is because of this campaign in the 30s by the same prohibition morons that brought us all the previous prohibitions. They're just now we can focus this prohibition just on these Hispanic people, okay? Yeah. And then what? The cops just become rich for free, It's a shit system. Somebody's got to stand up and say, look, we can do a lot better. And that's me. All this garbage has made me completely realize that the system is broken and we need to fix it. Bad. I shall progress. I wasn't out of damn jail, prison, or I just got out of the halfway house. This dude should not even have been in the apartment complex. He had received more complaints than you could receive and still live there per the landlord's rules. So because there was two landlords and some people were reporting him to this landlord, some people were reporting him to this landlord, they never got together and discussed anything. So I merely go over, this guy at 11 or 12 o'clock at night has got his stereo cranked. I go over there, defend myself, basically, like in this little area, get attacked and just like, fall down on the fucking guy in his own place. And now all of a sudden I'm almost back for 7 fucking years in prison. Because this guy's saying like that I was, or they're twisting it to say that I was like, because I was trying to get him to turn his stereo down or something like that, which I was lawfully trying to get his stereo, because I went to trial. And listen how bad this prosecutor was, because there was another occasion where the guy was passed out, his door was open, me and another neighbor on like, we should have just called the cops, but you don't call the cops when you're just fresh out of prison, because every single contact is paperwork, okay? So you don't call the cops, okay? So, and she could have called the cops, but she didn't want to call the cops. So we went into his apartment and turned his stereo down and made sure this dude was on his stomach so he didn't puke and die. He was passed out drunk with a half bottle. I mean, this guy was a drunk. And he was only like 20-something years old, and just a pass out drunk. Music to blaring, like distorted, like he passed down to, I don't even know. This asshole almost got me, like I said, another 7 years in prison after I just got out of 7 years in prison. I mean, it was just absolutely ridiculous. And it was not my fault. He shouldn't even have been there. Okay? And then I defended myself, but I still got a fucking assault, whatever the lowest assault, which is, Oregon is such a pussy-ass state. Like, you can't even defend yourself. You literally can't. If you defend yourself now, all of a sudden, you're the fucking criminal. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Really. And the cops lie. Like, fucking crazy. And they make up the stupidest fucking laws. I mean, this system is just fucking garbage. Irredeemable garbage. Unbelievably garbage. So, now, I think the next thing, this, a restraining order. So, I had a girlfriend trying to sue her because she had fucked around and almost fucked up my house purchase. Trying to buy a house, co-signed a car for her. Long story short, we had an argument once where she fucking put her hands up in my face like this. I caught them and put her on the couch. Literally, this was the fucking move. From here to there. The couch, the back was here, and the cushions were there. Bam, done. She's over there. I can now stay away. Now that I know that she's trying to fucking hit me in the face, I can just keep away from her. And she didn't try it again because, like, I got skills. Like, you're going to hit me in the face, it's not going to be easy. So now that was like 8 months later. So she fucking files a restraining order. Completely full of lies. To the point where she's put my business at risk by saying we have a wall of prop guns, which are either guns that used to be real and then were taken apart. The barrels were filled with like epoxy. All the important parts are not there anymore. So we have those, and then we have airsoft. A wall, like a giant wall of them, right? Everybody knows they're fake. Like, how the freaking Baldwin accident happened is beyond me. Like, who even has real guns on set at all? And then who even has any? Like, that is so moronic to me. I can't even believe it. Like, actors and real guns, like, are you a moron? Period. So, and I can't even be around real guns. So, what kind of person in their real mind would have a giant of machine guns and just like the crazy, you know what I'm saying? Of course, in her thing was like, oh, maybe some of them are real, I don't know, or something like that. So now she's put my business at risk of being like invaded by SWAT teams and shit. Because I'm trying to sue her to teach her a fucking lesson. When you make an agreement and people go out of their way and then you don't fill your agreement, then you're going to get sued. It was like $1,100 and it was the point more than the money. I had pulled this girl up out of poverty, and she had just been fucking... Anyway, so this is the story of the piece of shit judge. He literally was... I went in there with a witness and proved she was lying, and he could care less. My biggest mistake, I didn't even bother getting a lawyer. I'm like, she's lying right here. I can prove she's lying. That's the end of that. Oh, no. Not for this piece of shit fucking Clackamas County judge. This motherfucker has lived in a fantasy world his entire fucking life. He's went from fucking schools and churches and schools and fucking being a lawyer. I mean, just a fantasy world living motherfucker. Probably nobody's ever even breathed hard in his direction, let alone ever, like his parents probably never kicked his ass. He probably doesn't ever been in one even slap, nothing. How the fuck can you judge people if you ain't never lived fucking life? Okay? You don't let people fucking punch you in the face, you punk ass judge. Boom, caught her fucking fist. Boom, she's on the couch. Nobody got hurt. I didn't get hurt. She didn't get hurt. Oh, but I'm a fucking... Give me a break. This is more... The system is a piece of fucking shit. So he gives me the ability to sue her because that's all I'm fucking there for. Fine, it says right in the restraining order I can sue her. She claims bankruptcy, names me as a fucking bankruptier. My rights as a bankruptier is that I can go to her bankruptcy. I went to her bankruptcy as per I could, sat in another room, nailed her for lying to the fucking court about her possessions. She was leaving out all her high-end shit that she was buying instead of paying her bills. And I let them know that. Well, she promptly went down to the fucking police department and lied, and those stupid fucking assholes at the police department never bothered to fucking take 2 seconds to read the restraining order, see that I had the right to fucking be at that fucking meeting. No, they just put a fucking warrant out for me. That shit goes for 2 years, never hear a fucking thing. And believe it or not, I had called the cops at one point because somebody shot a gun in my neighborhood, and I called the cops. 2 cops show up, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. They didn't say I had a fucking warrant. So now, these fascist, proud boy, oath keeper, just scumbag humans that have been fucking with Portland for months and months with their damn horseshit fucking, and they're flying from around the country to come fuck with Portland, one of the most beautiful, top-rated cities in the whole country for years after years after years after years until that fucking punk Trump takes over and his thug fascist anti-American pieces of shit come to our fucking city and start shit. I am walking down the sidewalk on my way to the protest, not even there yet, with my fucking sign that says Trump is a traitor and has his head on a spike, like it should be. I knew he was a piece of shit from day one. Okay? I get jumped by a mob of punk-ass fucking cops walking down the fucking sidewalk. Okay? You can have a pocket knife that is an automatic pocket knife as long as it's clipped in your pocket and they can see it. These dumbass cops see the knife, take the knife, flip. You saw the fucking knife. You can have the knife. That's how you took the knife. Oh, now I'm being arrested for having a knife. That's not the law, you fucking dumbass punk cops. Okay? Do you see why I have zero respect for the fucking system? Because the system has done nothing but lied, beat me up, robbed me, lied, tuned the machine, didn't fucking delete the machine. Sure, I've been pulled over by cops that have acted like normal people. I've had exchanges. But look, I got cops out here These motherfuckers just ignore my no trespassing signs, in essence walk up into my living room, ignoring all kinds of fucking laws, just to give me some fucking paperwork. Some legal being sued paperwork. Like they ignore all these laws, because we have to deliver your paperwork. And then when questioned, why are you on my property? What they play dumb. They literally act dumb. Like the no trespassing sign is on my address sign. You can't verify you're in the correct place without looking at a no trespassing sign. So to say you didn't see the trespassing sign is moronic, and you're plain stupid. And how am I supposed to respect anybody who defaults to plain dumb? And is akin to just nothing but a bunch of freaking liars. Have been lying about me my entire effing life. I have never in my life, not even breathed, I've never even been rude to a cop. Not ever even been rude. Think about that, motherfuckers. I have never even been rude to a cop. I have scar, and this shit gets infected every once in a while in my skull. Okay, this was skull breakage shit here. These ribs are misshapen, and I've never even been rude to a cop. Okay, are you starting to get the big picture? And here's what I say to all cops watching this. Fuck off. Go. Pew. Do something else. Go find real criminals. Leave me the fuck alone, because I am fucking sick of you people. All you do is lie, steal, and beat me up. You're a bunch of fucking pieces of shit. Trying to entrap me on shit that's just fucking insane. Because you guys are dumb and you think stupid shit. Fine. I'm not a criminal at all. I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to attack anyone. I just want to live a nice fucking life and be left the fuck alone by fucking fascist fucking cops. Is that too much to ask? Because everything these fucking cops think about me is a fucking lie that some other cop wrote.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Emotional damage!